Hey guys, Felipe Vieira here, senior front-end designer with over 16 years of career experience. Okay. Now after the vacation, I came back here for a very important video. Okay. A video that you guys requested a lot in the comments as well over in our WhatsApp group. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, check out our description. Okay. Click and join us there. It's quite interesting over there. Okay. People. Also clear up their doubts. I occasionally take a look there, chat with the folks. It's really cool. Okay. So today's video is going to be more or less a 2-in-1 video, okay? Why? Just look, you have the cursor open there, right? And here's the thing. Today, we are going to make a comparison. You know that I keep telling you there are several cool tools for generating MVPs and software, right? For us to test something we want to pivot in the market, okay? But the core of the thing is always the prompt. What will determine if our system is good, if it's generating well, we're not losing too many tokens and so on, is the prompt, okay? And today, I am going to share with you my prompt, the prompt I use for my things, for my personal tests and everything else, okay? It's a very fine-tuned prompt. It takes quite a while to get to it, okay? It's what gives me the most accurate results. Oh, okay. And I'm going to do a test. I'm going to use it. I'm going to do it with the prompt, take it out of my head, and then I'm going to convert it to this prompt that I use for my projects, okay? And this personal prompt, you will see here, you will see more or less how it is. You will be able to create your own based on it, okay? But my members area is open, okay? So all these automations, templates, the prompts that I will use in the videos, okay, folks, will be available for the people who support the channel directly in the community, okay? So you will be able to download and use them as you wish without any restrictions, okay? Now for the people outside, the internal community, you will be able to see it's the same prompt, okay? You will be able to take a look at the video and create one based on it. You just won't be able to download it because that's to help the people who are supporting the channel and all. But you can do it on your side by looking at my prompt and even making a better one, right? Based on it, right? Making it according to your needs, okay? Without further ado, what I thought for this video, okay? I thought of creating a kind of landing page system, which we will make. It's not that simple because there's an integration that I will do via code. I will code this part separately outside of AI because it's a bit more complex. We are going to create a small system that generates an image. And this image will generate a poster that people can print at a print shop and make a frame. Many people like that style, you know, the Netflix style where the movie image appears in the background with a description and everything. Don't? So we are going to make a system like this where you can upload your photos, make a description, often used by couples to include their names, and it will generate the Netflix interface with these details. In the second phase, I believe this is just to present the ready product and see how it behaves, how the system will look. But in a second phase, I will integrate it with an artificial magic generation system with a flow architecture to generate movie covers. For example, there will be Squid Game, and it will take the image people send, convert it, and create one in the same style using artificial intelligence, so you don't have to do manual editing, and create a nice image that you can give as a gift, and so on. Of course, it will be an MVP. I will deliver it so you can make a payment and then release it for people to use upon payment or download the image and print it. So, that's the system. I will first start with the prompt, and then you will see when it's ready how we can really make a system and run it. The part I mentioned that is a bit complex is the image generation part. For the image generation part, we have to work with APIs the browser with Canvas, and so on, which requires some specific knowledge. We could even do it directly with AI. Like I could do it because I have experience in development, so I could fix it. But since I know I've worked a lot with this Canvas part, I can do it from scratch faster than adjusting what the AI gives me. That's the only reason I'm going to do it myself, okay? So let's start with a prompt. Okay. I created a very concise prompt, okay? Here is the cursor. We are going to test the cursor. So we are going to play here with the cursor. Basically, that you see, we are going to do it. I will make it rotate. Here, Thierry, a project from scratch. Next, React, reshed, CND, ready, a landing page, blah, blah, blah. All right, this is the cursor. Okay, folks, we're going to run it here. And I'm also going to do it with Bolt, okay? And let's see how both behave if we go back to the cursor just to see how it is. It already created the app folder, component, zoom, component, point. JSON, what it did. Let's divide it into steps. First, let's start the Inez project with the configurations. All right. Let's open here. It's already created here, right? It already ran this here. Let's create the basic structure of the project. Compile JSON. Just gonna give an accept to all. I'm just going to tell it it's already created. You already created. Post-up.pco points.delete. But ask me to start a project with npx. It will create another folder, right? Another folder, right? Because it will create another folder. As soon as I run npx create, it will create another folder inside here and will ignore everything it did. Got it. I will create with the agent reinforcement. The agent. It will be done via command line here directly, okay? Instead of us having to keep clicking and everything, you see we press home. It does this first, then it goes step by step while it's running. We'll go back there. You see that the bolt here, it created a landing page, already created a template here. All right. I'll just check the folder structure. Let me just see if there's anything. Yeah, it doesn't. The click doesn't do anything. I want it to look somewhat like a little green check. And so overwrite in this template and generate a final image with 300 DPI for printing. Look at that over there. You'll probably have to use Canvas for this, or even HTML, and generate the image by printing this HTML. Whatever is easier. I will tell him to do it in an easier way so as not to complicate the video too much for us. Here he is asking to execute the commands. He is requesting us to proceed with the installation of ChatCN. And as you can clearly observe, it opens up this particular section of the terminal for us. We have the convenient option to execute this process directly from this interface. Do you see what I mean? Just so we can also see the difference between cursor generating 0 and bolt, which people use a lot. Just a note, folks. For my tests, I will later bring a video to you about these cost issues. Bolt consumes more credits than Lovable, okay? If you have to subscribe, take that into consideration. Bolt still falls a bit short in the regeneration part, okay? It uses a lot of files. It regenerates the entire file instead of pieces. So it's more accurate, okay? So it tends to be less costly, uses less credit, okay? Now I'm going to do an npm install. The next config is already there. Let's go to bolt. Okay. Let's see, start create. It's loading. All right. It opened here. Kind of messed up, right? So let's copy here. When I click on create, it doesn't appear in the template. There on Netflix. Let me send you an image so you can build one based on it. All right. You can notice that bolt is much faster than the cursor. Okay. Especially for projects from scratch. It is often sent to be recreated from the very beginning, but it's not necessary. You see, we already have the package, so we just need npm install to install. I think ChatCN is already there. Let's see here. If we open the package, we can see everything it wants to install. You see, ChatCN is currently unavailable, so I will need to add this individual person here. The booting process is still ongoing, so let's be patient and wait for a short period of time. Go. To take a little bit longer, so let's return back here for a moment. Start creating. Let's see if there's any potential error or issues in the interface carefully. It's asking to upload a photo. Wow, nothing to do with Netflix. Go. Template. It's like this. And I ask like this. Let's send the template again just to see if it corrects it for us. And then there at the cursor, we will start the CN chat there, and it gives a little error. Let me show you. It gave an error there. It will start the chat. CN. I'm thinking here, let me show you just a little bit more while it's loading. I'm showing for him, there is without a doubt an image on top, in focus, and below several contents horizontally, each with a title. That's what needs to be done. There is the main background image with the text on top, exactly like the image I sent. Turn it into a template and use it. You see that it kind of has the look. Okay, I won't dwell too much on that, okay? Cursor there. There's an error. I'll ask to delete the current folder and go back. Joke here. It ended up showing more gray. It was so-so. Okay. I'll give it a download post to see if it approximately 10 maybe. All right, something like that. How many minutes did it take? It took about 15 minutes, and let's see how it turned out. It ended up here, and I is /client. The page out here, components, hooks. All right, it's finalized and everything, right? Now I'm going to show you. You'll see that there's no integration with the artificial intelligence system. Nothing that I asked for at the beginning. Okay. No. I'm going to input my prompt. Okay. Let's create a new chat. This guy is one of the prompts I use for the cursor. Okay. I leave it saved there as a cursor file for the cursor to always take it as a base. So all the prompts I make, it will take this one as a base to have a start. All right, let's go. I'll show you more or less here how it is. This is the same one I sent there. Okay, the same It is. It's the same prompt. But here I told it I provided the tech stack. So we have here Next, React, TypeScript, Tailwind, Init, Shakin expresses the server there, integration with Replicate for image generation. When it sends the image, it will train a model for image generation, and this guy will generate the images for us. Code style, structure, write concise TypeScript and text, use functional information patterns, prefer interaction, use names. I provided a folder structure to it. You see how I want the folders to be so it doesn't keep creating folders endlessly, right? Naming conversions, which are definitions I use a lot in the development part, which are the conventions we use for naming. Then, in the use of TypeScript, I gave him instructions on how I want him to these things, the TypeScript for me. Then the state management part, which is the intelligence of our system. I told him which libraries he can use so that later I have to make changes and everything else. Syntax, formatting, Y styling. I already mentioned to use radix, Y, shadcn. Then I told him to add new components using what shadcn does. We ask him to use it so he doesn't end up reinventing the wheel. Usage and performance are also very important aspects that many people, when working with Bolt and so on, do not take into consideration. We need to consider the security aspect. Testing is also important, as we need to provide the minimum amount of testing possible to have a project that will scale. It's true that when we launch the product, we don't know if it will work, but it's good to have a solid foundation. The security aspect to prevent attacks and so on is the most basic of basics, but it's important for us to tell people to do this. The use of Git, if we want to version as well. I provide a how-to here. Some rules for commits and so on, and documentation, which is very important. Documenting what he is doing, especially for you who don't know code and so on, so you can have an idea of what was done, where it was done. And even if you want to hire a dev later to give the project a boost, he won't get too lost in what was generated. And then the development flow, which is the flow I use a lot in my day-to-day, and some extras that I pass on to him. If he finds the necessary place, he does it. So you see that it's quite extensive. I tested one by one, seeing how the result turns out to reach this point. All right, he created it here, but it's with me, so let's do a quick fix here. And my personal cursor is stuck, you see. It doesn't move from here. What do we do when it gets stuck? We close and open it again. And it's here. But all right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to close it. As it happened there, I'm going to close the entire window and open it. The zero cursor? Okay. Opened a new instance of the cursor. Here, it gave an error again. See if it's trying to fix it. I'll go to the composer. Write another error. Fix time, you see that. It gives the error itself, but it keeps consuming my tokens. Here it is. This is something that the Bolt team needs to implement, because if theoretically their service failed to provide a functional code, should you be penalized spending your tokens with this? Okay. If I'm not mistaken, the Lovable one, it doesn't charge tokens. When it makes a mistake, okay. I think the worst is this guy. I think it's easier for him to fix it. Let's go back to the cursor. While this guy is trying to rise, it's opening. The terminal, oh wow, what happened? Dude, best. What's up? Let's look at page.txt. Let's enter page.txt. This guy, all right, let's see what he's complaining about here. Unexpected token div. Huh. Is this the first div? Home div mine HBG background. It is. Just a fragment here to see if it will pass. I'll go back there. The one above, all right. I'll run a yarn dev and see what it did. If it already did something or if it just created. Wow, my God, it's fast, huh? Compiling. It gave this error here. Let's copy it. It is thinking there. This is what it's doing with the cursor, right? It's in the bolt, all right? It created this guy here. Look, you see it's already using the chat. Cien already created some things here. Look. All right, but it didn't create the client page, right? Let's just copy this guy and tell it the same thing. But let's look at the structure so you can see the difference. Let's reduce this here. It already left a constants file here with templates for later. When we add more templates, we don't have to keep adding them in multiple places. It centralized this part. It created a types file for us to type the data we're receiving and everything else, which is good for software quality. It created the Y with the components here from shared CNC. A folder is created when we run that share DC and add command. It creates a Y folder and does this, okay? Here is a hook folder that it always creates, and a lib folder is also always created, okay? The only thing is that here it duplicated the folder. Types, see. It created a types folder outside and created a types folder. Inside, where's the folder types? Components, including various elements. It created app components and components. Inside here, it duplicated actually the template grid and UI components. I need to download to see there is a video template here and a video template here. He duplicated it. I will tell him here, you duplicated some components. Look, there, inside the app. That's a root. Both have a folder. Components, types, etc. Review. You can't just go duplicating, okay? Otherwise later for us. In support, it becomes terrible. He is adding there the components part that wasn't in ARIA there. All right, we have the types here. The TS is the types file, okay? Layout, there's the page, which is the main one. Then there's the components part inside the UI. General template. The tones, hooks, lib, all right. Now, let's take this guy here, right? This is the other one. Create the poster creation. Bart. Making a template of the image above. And the person will upload the images and write the names. And you will generate this guy there with the person's photos. It will take me a while. Go. Take a screenshot here and show him the template you made It has nothing to do with the image we will see. Make it identical to the image. See, and wait to upload. I will try to create this poster now. Here, I think here. All right. I called the same thing. It continues. The same as the Netflix interface. I hope it's not changing our main layout. Look over there. You can see that it has changed. Let me take a closer look here. Everything seems to have been altered. The entire scene has shifted and all the elements have been modified. It's interesting to observe how everything has been transformed, leaving nothing untouched by this change. Netflix scheme. See. All right. I think it's already more or less. I'll put it here. Netflix has more horizontal lines with other themes. There, it's not just the main one. My poster is A3 size with 300 dpi, so it fits a lot vertically. Let's see if it generates. While it's generating, I'll show you here. I am installing the CN chat here. I'm following what the agent is telling me to create, remembering that this is from scratch. to avoid that more robust prompt. Basically, it created, I'll run a yarn dev to launch it so we can see how it will look. Now he did it. Look, he even made the little input there. Look, let's see main title. There, blue, 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 blue. Of course, there would be more for us to see what will remain and everything else. Let's just see how he created it here. Look, see, create page poster would be the part of the creation page in the poster part. The only thing he didn't understand was that he thought I wanted the entire system like Netflix, which wasn't what I wanted, right? But okay. In the other bolt, if we look, he basically created the, it didn't turn out so nice here, right? But it also works. It's just that it creates some things a bit disorganized, you see? Kind of scattered and everything. There are a lot of things we won't use that we didn't even ask for. Drawer, dialogue. We don't have any of that in our system. If we look here with the prompt, you see that it takes exactly what we need. It doesn't create junk, you understand. It's okay that the bolt here directly, you see that sometimes it makes a little mistake with things, right? The cursor tends to make a little fewer mistakes, okay? Meanwhile, we're going to copy our prompt over to Lovable just to see if it tends to be better as a full stack generation than Bolt. Okay. So guys, with the logo, it was basically the first prompt, right? Structured. It created a part. Then I told it to create the template based on this image. Okay. 2 prompts, folks. It created this guy. That's it. We click here, look, create Netflix poster. It gives us this. We choose a main file. Let's go with this one. And we choose more than one thumbnail there. Look, let's select here. Look, 2. All right. Then I just need to reduce this guy here just so you can see, you see, it will give a download poster. If we click, it will download the image for us, 11 MB. It's not 100%, okay. But I believe it's at 300 DPI, you see, it got tiny here. But basically, a larger prompt there. And with 2 prompts, we already created the functionality in Lovable. So you see that Lovable is more assertive, right? It generates what you want without errors in a more cohesive way. The template is not excellent, okay? But it's also not behind the others, right? This was the bolt, okay. Was it good? This was the bolt with the template, with our template there of, let's see, if it is generating. And if you want to subscribe to something and want to do it just with this thing, try to do it for Lovable. If you don't want to edit much of the code part and everything else, because in Lovable, you have to pass it to GitHub. It's a bit more complex. Then you have to weigh the pros and cons. Then it's already done already. All right, let's open the local there. Let's hit enter here to refresh it. It's compiling create unique posters. All right. So folks, it turned out like this. Okay, let's see. Look, here where I provide the file payload. It's not generating anything, but you see that at first, if we don't give it an image to use as a template, you see that it wants something very simple, right? All right, now let's just do the following. This guy here is one, okay. So let's create a new window here. Look. So guys, for us to use that file of mine in the course now, just for us to make the comparison, what are we going to do? First, we are going to create a new project, okay, from scratch. With the npx create this command here, we are going to create a next project. It will be called Streaming Poster Maker, the container wind. Is this TypeScript link? We will press enter. It will create this folder for us, Streaming Poster Maker. It will ask some questions. We will say, if you want the CRC, just keep pressing enter. You see, enter, enter. No need here. This guy, I like it, but you can choose yes or no. Okay. He will do the installation here. Look. Remember the name of the folder here that we set as Streaming Poster Maker, because we will need to open it, okay? Load. I'll pause until the... All right, it loaded here, okay? So we are going to open this streaming, OKCD, bulk streaming. If we press tab, it will auto-complete for us. Okay, it completed. We enter this folder here, or we can come here. Look, open folder and open this folder that we just created. See, select the folder. It will reopen the cursor here. And look what we're going to do. We're going to open the terminal part here with Ctrl-Shift-P. Open the composer as well. Open the composer. All right. You know that prompt. We are going to create a file, instructions or instructions or any name, and leave it here in the root. See, basically, everything I sent there to Bolt and to Lovable. Okay. By doing this, we will send instructions to him. Look, I have this current object public CRC based on the 80 instructions, and it's already here already based on instructions ext create the app in stages. First of all, summarize what you will do before starting the stages. This is a good personal practice. Whenever you are going to do this flow that I am teaching you, always ask in the first prompt for it to pass to you everything it will do in summary, so you can understand more or less the context of each one. First, structure and base. All right. We can start. All right. It is taking the package there, changing it for us, then configuring the timeline for us from the theme. Global styles. Then it will create the theme provider, which is the theme provider layout, main, a basic initial page. Then it will create the button using the ChatCN and the utils. All right. Let's accept everything. Let's do an npm install before moving on to the next. Okay. Let's test what it did. So run npm install to finish installing everything. Okay. There was an error. Good morning. NPM. Sometimes it gets on my nerves, so we use yarn. So npm and yarn are the installers for these packages, node packages, and everything else for JavaScript. You can use either one, okay? Basically the same thing. I use yarn because I like it. It's faster, okay? And it tends to have fewer errors. npm has a lot of cache errors and everything else. It keeps being a nuisance, okay? I already have a video here installing it, okay? If you want, look for it here. On my channel, there's a video where I teach how to set up the system from scratch and everything else, especially in the part where I teach how to do it. The guide, the local bolt. I teach how to install all these tools, all right? If you have any questions, leave them here in the comments and I can make a video focused just on that, okay? So we're going to run a yarn dab just for it start. I'm typing faster than my computer can think. All right, let's see on which port it will start. Just to test here to see how it's turning out. All right. Localhost 261. Let's go there. Wow, man. Here we have it on 3000, which is the curse is without our prompt. It's open there, so it's taking over. Let's change to 3001. It's already compiling there to see how it created this interface. Then first, it already gave an error here. Look. It didn't find the index CSS animate. I think it wasn't installed. Let's see. Let's copy this guy here. Search. Here in the cursor. Okay. It's definitely here as a plugin, but we didn't install it. Let's send it to the chat here. Look. It's going to change for us the fixes. We can also search on Google and everything else to show us. Also, sometimes the cursor gets like this. It starts lagging. Let's perhaps cancel in the composer. Close this guy. Let's do a yarn add there. The npm install, it doesn't matter. And then we ask to bring it up again. So it's always good after finishing a step for you to do this, okay? Oh, Danny, it's giving that error. So we just need to change it. The yarn add, okay? It's the same thing. We're going to install in the same way, okay? Now we do a yarn down. It will come up again. On notre one. Okay. This guy here, all right? He loaded this guy. Let's see if he already created this page. And create poster. Not only did he create this beauty, but it's working. Okay, so we go back to him. I would like to continue for him to go to the second phase. How is he going to do in the second phase? We go back there to what he wrote. Look, second stage poster canvas editor for poster editing system for Pro and other basic templates of the stream interface, customization, preview. In real time, he will do these guys. And here, he will probably freeze a little. Okay, it takes time, yes. Will end in the goal. Just to watch. Okay, I have it here on the cursor and close this car. Leave only the two open. Let's see if it's not another cursor that's interrupting. Normally, you have to close it, okay? You have to close it, open it again, so it can restore itself. Just shut down the server here too. No, you really have to shut it down. There's no other way. I'll close this guy. Let's close this guy. Then we'll open the cursor again. Continue to step 2. When it will work, it starts writing something. Already got it. It's here in the image upload section. The template selection component, text editing component, main editor component. But do you notice that we have more control here? Is it much more organized? Why? Because we have a more focal point of the file. We can tell it how it will run and everything, rather than in bolt and so on. That's why I tell you. You can. Bolt is very good for doing the front end. So do the front end in bolt. Free version, no need to pay. Download it for yourselves. Continue. Cursor windsurf. Later I will make a video comparing the two or Lovable. The Lovable is a bit more complete, especially for Beck integration, but still, do it on your own machine, which I think is much better. Okay? Let's change Septio. See what it says here. We need to add some new components. Okay, good. Install this guy. All right, so let's yarn add React. Drop zone. Then you have to add these guys. And it's Shadzin. Okay, not Shadzinui. I'll go back. I can't see. Shagin. Add input, then the guys, we're going to make the label. Okay. We need to create a template. We're also going to split here to do both at the same time. Yes. Default slate. Yes. All right. It hasn't opened yet. Or he wants to create it in here, so let's create it here, okay? Taking time. Done. It became the templates folder. Go. It will take time. Press cancel, and it will appear there quickly. We're going to add the label as well, okay? Then he It said to add the previews there, but it's not necessary. So let's see how step 2 turned out. Let's go to localhost 3000 and explore. Press enter. It hasn't started yet. That's why it's giving this error. The phone is currently on start, but it's on port 3000. Let's go back to port 3000. Loading. Loaded here. Okay. We don't have these images yet because it asks us to put them in the folder. Okay, you see, since I didn't put them, they won't appear, but that's fine. It already gave an effect here. It did, whether it's doing something or not. It didn't generate right. There are some errors here. Look. Bad request for the images. Okay, there won't be any images. Download, poster, object image, blah. It's not generating a template, but let's see what step 3 is. Okay. Step 3, hand generation interaction with replicate. It will do the replicate in step 3. The good thing about dividing into steps is that you can talk to it to fix something in one step. And then you say, okay, let's go to the step 3. Then it starts the next step, you understand. If there's any problem, you say step 2. I just saw a problem. It can go back to its context and fix things. Only in step 2 did it understand how step 2 needs generation. Okay. In this step, okay, let me go back here so you can see. In this step 2, there needs to be a view on the right side of what it's becoming. The chosen poster doesn't need to use the canvas. You can create a template in HTML by cloning the Netflix interface. And when you click to generate the image, you generate it at 300 dpi, 20, this HTML. Now, I just want to get that Netflix image, right? Let me see if I can find one here. Let's see. Then it's generating there. Crown stylus and templates, okay? the preview component will ask to install this guy. Here, we will install yarn, add HTML and the canvas. All right. Let me think carefully and thoroughly about how we can proceed. Accept everything. Make it an idea. Here, the preview. It has already updated for us, okay? So shall we choose Netflix or Disney? Dual, font, Solino. From the photo upload. All right. Movie municipal. Doe. Blah, 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 blah. All right. He did the first one here. But he didn't do the rest, right? Those horizontal things there. But that's okay. It's just a matter of us editing and everything, okay? Then if we go back there, look on the top monitor, what we are going to do. What is step 3? Step 3 is a bit more complicated, you see. He is going to integrate with replicate, so let's go. Now, move to step 3. He will take the instructions and integrate with replicate. Okay, because we need to generate a key and all that. Yes, look there, you see. We are just going to let it implement. We won't test. Okay. He created a root.ts. Where did he create it? Here, exactly here, precisely at the API. All right. This is very well organized here. All right. He mentioned creating an env. Is there an env here already? There is. So all right, it works. Bye. All right. Here he tells you what you need to do, you see. Create a replicate account. Create the token. All right. Let's move to the next step. Let's see what the next step is. Layout res doesn't have anything else. Optimizations, then it will handle errors, loading state, visual feedback, testing and final adjustments. All right. Let's see what it's generating. Created the spinner for loading. A toast file to display those notifications for us. Then the hook to manage the toasts. You see that everything is typed the way we mentioned in the instructions. There it is. Now, it is importing these new components into the poster editor. All right. It mentioned to install radix. React, toast. Okay, let's join. It was reactivated. On the conceptual. it will give me because there is no haptitoast yet. But it gave me during the hard disk installation. So just do a search here on the hard disk. I'm going to eradicate it anyway. Yeah, you have to do yarn and AD, right? I just did yarn. You can do that, right? All right. Let's go here. Let's do it. Look there. Tolstoy is already working. The Matrix is an awesome movie. Watch it. All right, let's see if it's generating 0 bytes. All right. I believe the generation is messed up, but it's fine, right? We can manage. Let's go back to the code just so you can see how it looks more organized. Did you notice there were almost no errors in the implementations? Implemented almost everything cohesively. And if we look here, it's really the way we want it. You see very well separated, components separated with folders. You see everything neatly separated and organized, right? The rookies, the libs part, theme providers there. So you see that we can achieve a slightly better configuration, right? A better control of our project, right? Only if later we want to expand and everything else, pass it to a dev, do something more complex, and we can't do it via AI, it becomes a more professional project, right? So what I wanted to bring to you is today, sorry if it was a bit too long, okay, folks? If you have any questions, leave them here in the comments, join the WhatsApp communities. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. Share it with your friends. If you have a friend who has the idea of making an app and everything else, doesn't know where to start, share my channel with them. And a notice for you. Besides that, I've already mentioned that the membership area of my channel is open. I will schedule a live session. Okay. It will probably be in the last week of January so we can decide what the course project will be. Okay. I've already closed the part of the survey. Okay. So respond by Monday because I will close it. And then there will be no more opportunity to respond. And those who do not respond will not receive the 50% discount coupon and will not get the discount on the course. All right. So try to respond by the end of the weekend. Then the live session will happen and we will start the course there in February. All right. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Thanks.